ROC, restore our community. ROC, restore our community. ROC, restore our community. ROC, restore our community.
Wanda P's on a mission to ROC, restore our community. Assuming the task, taking on the responsibility. One block at a time, one young mind at a time. We have to strive.
Hello and welcome to ROC. I'm Wanda P and this is Restore Our Communities. I have with me my friend, he's going to co-host with me today, Dr. Houston Kennard. Hey Houston, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing fine. It's great to be with you today.
Yes, it is. And we have a very special guest today, Houston, Miss Dr. Amelia Bryant. How are you, Doctor?
I am great.
Great. Tell our viewing audience who you are and what is your purpose?
Well, my purpose being here today is to talk mainly about depression in Black women as part of our ZHope program. And ZHope is a program that is with Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. And we have a nationwide program which is called ZHope. And ZHope means Zeta helping other people excel.
Wow.
And in doing so, we focus on the majority of the people within the community, and we also try to join hands with other people in the community who has programs, and trying to lift up these individuals within the program, within the community that might have problems.
Wow, that's really wonderful. Where does ZHope come from? I mean, what was the purpose?
Well, within the sorority itself, we are supposed to be community oriented.
That's right, that's right.
So in being community oriented, we have tried to focus on men, women, youth, the senior citizens, and international women. So it's pretty well grounded, and it's very broad because, as I said, it's a nationwide program.
Right.
So all the Zetas focus on this particular program. And it's not like a lot of the programs where you just focus on them at certain times during the year. This is every day.
Wow.
Every day. So it's almost like a job that I have.
Wow.
Okay.
Where I really invest a lot of time in this.
And that's beautiful.
Well, how did you find people in the community that needed this? That I guess you were inspired by people that seem to need this kind of help.
Yes, well, first I thought about the church, because it's centrally located. It's in every community. So I first started looking at the church and the various individuals in the community. Well, within that church setting. And you can find numerous people within that setting that has problems that need to be addressed. A lot of the problem are some that's readily out there and they don't mind talking about them. And then there are some that they are not so likely to talk about. And those are not addressed. And even some of the problems that exist with young children are not addressed also. And one thing we have found is that it's better to start working with children as they are young and
not impression,
exactly.
Not have the impressions of
exactly, because what we're finding now is that a lot of the individuals that are incarcerated, they have to come back into the community. Some of them usually go back into the community where they initially left, and a lot of them might go into new communities. So there is an individual within one of the programs that I am attending right now. He has blocked it off. In each community, there is a basic number of incarcerated individuals that's coming back into that community. And so they want us to work with those communities in accepting those individuals back. And with them coming back, we know that there are things that they're going to need, because that was one of the reasons why they left the community anyway, to be incarcerated, because there was a need there that wasn't being met. And so everyone within that community now is to come together to start working and focusing on those needs, so that that individual will not be likely to be reincarcerated. And then at the same time, probably would not entice those younger individuals that live within the community.
I want to ask this question. We're talking about women and depression. Being a woman myself, sometimes, how do you know, and maybe Houston can answer this question, sometimes you don't even know that you're depressed, because we have such a heavy burden dealing with children, husbands, and things that the things that we as women have to deal with. Sometimes we don't even know we're depressed.
Yeah, a lot of times what happens is that individuals might have situations in their lives where they've had a loss. It could be loss of a loved one, it could be a mother, a father, it could be a sister or brother. And it does not have to necessarily be the loss of an individual that might throw someone into a state of depression. And we want to call this more situational depression, okay? But it could be the loss of a pet, because, people have pets. People own homes. They could lose their home because of the economy as it's going now. And you've been in that home for 10 years or 15 years. And all of a sudden, you're without the home. For example, the Katrina people that we did volunteer stuff for some years ago, you can imagine how devastating that can be. So those kinds of things are usually triggers to forms of depression. But that's more situation depression. But someone who has had constant repetitive times where they feel down. And one of the things Dr. Bryant, we talked about was, it's more than just the blues. Some Monday morning blues, you've heard. But where a person, has constantly stayed into this state where they don't feel like getting up, going to work. They would prefer staying in the bed majority of the time. They become irritable. They just have lost interest in life. And so some of those things might help people decide, well, yeah, I may need to take care of this. This might be some depression that I'm experiencing and I don't really know it. And those are some of the things that, you take attention to.
Dr. Bryant, I know there's an event coming up. You want to talk a little bit about what's going on, with the project that ZHope is working on for the next couple of weeks, I think it is, right?
Yes, we are really excited about having Reverend Kennard and his group work with us. We call it partnering and collaborating between one another. And they are going to assist us in presenting a program on depression. And we feel that this is very, very important, because as he just said, depression is so prevalent right now in the female population. And at one time it wasn't so, because as you talked about, being a woman possibly at home, taking care of the kids, preparing the meals, that will cause you to be someone of a hidden subject. So what's happening there in the house just stays there in the house. But now that women are out there in the workforce, there is more focus on them. And we feel that it's important for us to focus on them, and at the same time, we need to educate the community. Because a lot of times you might be so busy and so caught up in what you're doing, you don't realize that you are depressed, and you may not understand that you have a mood altering type illness going on. So you might need some other people around you to recognize that, to see about getting help for you. And then trying to get help for you, that's a whole new situation, because oftentimes people do not like to move in that direction because of the stigma
Right.
that is
That's right.
associated with it. And if you notice on in a lot of the job applications, they will sometimes have something on there about, you know, have you been depressed? Are you taking any medications for depression and things like that? A person is not normally going to check yes to anything like that because they feel that they're going to be looked at as a different human being and that it might result in their not getting that job. So they aren't going to take that chance.
Well,
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to dovetail into what Dr. Bryant was saying. On November 3rd, that's the date we've set to have the depression seminar with the Zeta group, the ZHope group, and it will be from 9 to 11 on that day at Greater Pleasant View Missionary Baptist Church.
What's the address?
Brentwood. It's 2710 Hillsborough Road. That's 2710 Hillsborough Road, and it's in Brentwood. It's about 10 minutes from Green Hills. Most of your listening audience probably have heard of Green Hills, or they bought stuff from Green Hills. So it's about 10 minutes from Green Hills on Hillsborough Road, straight out Hillsborough Road, about 6 miles. So
to the left.
Exactly.
I remember.
So we'd really be pleased for our listening audience to come out and join us, because we will be doing this with the senior group and with the Zeta group. There's no cost. There's no cost to this. It will be free, and we'll be using the Real Ministry group as the focal group that will be talking to the Zeta group. And Real Ministry, of course, is our counseling training group that we've established, and we'll be discussing things about depression.
And Dr. Bryant, I'll tell you, as Houston has even just reminded me of some things when we first started working with Real Ministries, and you also stated that there's a stigma behind that, but I will beg you, if you know that there's some things going on with you, seek the help. Come out. This is a free seminar. There are no, ties. Just come out and learn some things, and preferably even from this show, you would learn, like, I had some of those symptoms that he was talking about, or that Dr. Bryant was talking about. Maybe I need to go out and see somebody, because you need to get out of that rut. We are here for a purpose. And if we're caught up with this demonic spirit of depression, then we cannot move forward. And especially with the women. I love my men, children, but we, the women, they say, Mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. There are things we have to understand, and things aren't as bad. I want to flip over and just do some runs, because there were so many things. Some things that's been going on with me, making business decisions and things of that nature. I just got the best news today on some things. And it had me in a depressed mode, but I never gave up, because I know who God is in my life. Yeah. And so it didn't allow me to just stay in that rut, and also my personality, I'm just not going to sit there and lay down and die. I'm gonna make something happen, Lord. And with knowing the Word and being in the presence of the Word, it also encourages me. So for any of you women out there, man, don't you give up. It is not as bad as it seems. And if God allowed you to get through it and you survived it, it was for a reason.
Well, that's some good statements you've made there, Dr. Bryant, has too, in terms of this whole thing about depression. I wanted to revisit what we talked about earlier in the conversation today, and that is that the repetitive nature of some of the the irritability, and then staying in the bed, not feeling like getting up and doing things. It's the repetitive nature of that over a period of time. Now, we originally talked about the situational depression, which is, if someone dies or passes away, a family member, normally people are over that in 2 to 3 weeks or a couple of months. And then they are back to, their normal selves. As a matter of fact, a lot of times 2 or 3 days, people can, bounce back from something like that. But there's a mourning period, that people ordinarily will experience. But if it goes beyond, a couple of months, then you really do need to pay attention to that and seek some help. But it's the repetitive nature of it and the extended period of time that these things go on that that will really allow a psychologist to diagnose, or a psychiatrist to diagnose that kind of condition.
And I was going to ask you, Dr. Bryant, what are some of the things that the people can expect on this seminar, on this event? What can they expect when they come out?
They can expect to learn some of the signs and symptoms of depression, because we have found that depression can extend anywhere from a week, a month. It can last even as long as a year.
Wow.
And that means that it's going undetected. And during these time periods, you will find people with alternate mood swings. And some of these mood swings are even classified as bipolar. And so people are sort of in and out of this behavior, and it can go on for years and years. And here they are presenting with this, and a lot of times, you know, people don't really know what's going on with them. They'll just say, so-and-so, you know, sure, it acts strange, or did you notice that? Or sometimes, did you see what she had on? Why would she wear something like that at a time like that? And then oftentimes they have behaviors that can cause problems for other people.
Yes.
They can put them in a depressive situation.
Say that again. No, say it really, because
Yeah.
say that again. When people are depressed, listen to this, guys.
When people are depressed, they can sometimes put other people in a depressed situation, especially like, let's say, a mother. She can cause depressive problems with the children. And that has happened recently, I am so sorry to say, and it has ended in such a drastic situation. And I myself, I'm sorry that I didn't see it and recognize it myself, because I know there was something that I could have done, but I feel bad right now because I did not.
Well, you know, in a lot of situations, Dr. Brad, what happens a lot of times is that you're saying it, I think, appropriately about people not recognizing some of the signs and symptoms of depression and other conditions, because as a psychologist, one of the things that we are instructed to do, some of our legal ramifications of our profession, is that we need to find out if a person is coming in to see us, and this is part of the session that we'll be dealing with, whether or not a person is so depressed that they have talked about suicide or harming themselves. And we are legally bound if a person tells us that they are planning to harm or hurt someone else. Now, of course, just John Q. Public wouldn't ordinarily, know that kind of thing to do, but we are trained to ask those kinds of questions. And we are responsible to make sure that even though there is a confidentiality to our treatment of people that we see, if it gets to a point where there is suicidal or homicidal tendencies in some of our clients, then we do have to let high authorities know about that. And it's rare that it comes to that, but it is that happens in depressive people, because, let's talk about just a brief minute about manic depressive illnesses, the bipolar thing that Dr. Bryant mentioned. And there can be points at which people are very active, and they're on a high, so to speak. They can't come down off of that. They just going and going and going like the bunny rabbit, and they can't come off of that. But then when they do come off of it, they're so depressed, they're down, they cannot get up. It's just like just like something has dropped, and they are so depressed that they cannot get out of that. So that's sort of that bipolar thing. And we will be talking to that ZHope group about some of these things, so that they can be able to talk to other people, because that's how our counseling training started. Our pastor, Reverend Eric Williams, was kind enough to allow me to develop this counseling training for church leaders program, where we can train members of churches or organizations to be able to help identify problem areas. Not that they're going to be psychologists or psychiatrists, but as a layperson, they can
leaders of the
be,
church, right?
as leaders of the church, can be open to other members in the church so that they can talk to them. And the pastor told me, he said, yeah, I realize that people are not going to always come to me, but they may come to another person in the congregation. So we're trying to train folk to be able to recognize some of the things and be able to listen to other congregants so that they'll be able to help them out.
And I tell you one thing, Houston, people have watched the shows that we've done. Believe me, high profile people have listened to the show, because I've been hearing some feedback from that.
Right.
So in other words, what you were saying is that when people are on this high and this low, whatever, we said, they change like the weather. They're not changed like the weather, there's something going on.
There's something consistently and repetitive about it, and it goes over for a period of time. Yeah, there's something needs to be
How do you help someone to recognize that though? Because we mentioned earlier how some people put a stigma on that. And if there's someone, if you're married to someone or you're in a relationship with somebody, children is a little difficult for them because these people are their overseers. But for someone that's a partner or that's married to someone or relating with someone, maybe just another adult, how do you get them to see that without them putting up this fight?
Well, I'm not sure that we can ever be able to get that partner to see it or that close friend of ours to see it. But as long as we are aware and are listening to programs like this, Ms. Wanda, and I really do commend you for hosting programs like this. Then once they are able to understand and recognize that some of the things that we've been discussing are relevant to people in their immediate family or their spouse or whatever, then there's ways that they can talk to them. And that's what we're training, to be able to listen and then be able to say, okay, look, I understand that you're my spouse, but they have to be honest with that.
Absolutely.
And it can be gentle about it. You don't have to say, well, you need to go and see about yourself.
Wrong with you.
But yeah. But that's how we are saying it here today. Training people to be able to listen and then to be able to gently share with that person some of the problems. And you may not be the one to share with that spouse. You may have to get another person and bring them in and let them be the ones to help you. Don't feel like you're in it by yourself.
They don't want to feel tricked into it either, just like someone with rehab or something, just on drugs or something.
So make sure that if you need to, bring another person in. If you don't feel comfortable enough, bring somebody else in.
Okay, Dr. Bryan, is there a phone number or an email address that you want to give out if someone wants to get more involved in this event? Or your organization, ZHope, because it's wonderful.
Yes, you can reach me at area code 615-859-4836. And I, in turn, can give you more information about the program, or either I can put you in touch with some of the other ZHope committee members, and they could also contact you too. We are asking each one of the Zetas to be present at this meeting, and also to bring along a friend or family or someone like that, because everyone would definitely benefit from a program such as this.
And if they're listening today about another contact, they can call 615-269-3824, or our church number is area code 615-373-8219, and of course get additional information. Again, 2710 Hillsborough Road, Brentwood, Tennessee is where we will host.
What's the name of the church?
Greater Pleasant View Missionary Baptist Church, and that's where the depression seminar for women will be.
And I tell you, Dr. Kennard and Dr. Bryan, I am so elated when I just see the condition of the world. I don't want to get into the politics, but we look at some of the things that's been talked about, women's issues and all that, very important.
Wow.
I am so grateful that Real Ministries and ZHope are just a few of the people that are able to come out and just make a difference in the community and actually have a caring heart of the condition. And even though we're dealing with the women with this particular seminar, again, my heart goes out to the children as well, our men. Mm-hmm. So as a whole, because we're broken.
And we really are. And one significant form of depression that we will be discussing also is postpartum depression. And a lot of the women are aware of postpartum depression. And now, due to the fact that their hospital stay is not as long as it used to be, a woman could have postpartum depression. She really wouldn't know, she wouldn't be familiar with the symptoms, and she would be at home. And she would have no healthcare individuals overseeing her. And she could very easily be displaying some of these symptoms, and no one would know anything about it. So that's why we also have to educate those individuals that's at home. So if they can see something unusual occurring, that they can contact someone, because you've heard about some of the devastating things.
Oh, so what's the mild to severe? Yeah, we have about 2 minutes, but we'll talk about the mild and severe.
Yes, forms of depression, postpartum depression.
Yeah, go ahead real quick. We have like about 2 minutes. From mild to.
There are some individuals that have been sent home. They have developed, I'm not going to say developed postpartum depression then, but there are some tragic things that has happened to women and their babies after they have gone home. And so hopefully we would be to alleviate some of these things.
Wow. One more time, we'll give the information out and the dates and everything.
Yeah, it's going to be a seminar on depression centered around women, more than just the blues. 615-269-3824 or 615-373-8219. It will be held at 9 o'clock on November 3rd, Greater Pleasant View.
It's 9 a.m.
9 a.m. Yes, yeah. Please, 9 a.m. At Greater Pleasant View, Missionary Baptist Church, 2710 Hillsborough Road, Brentwood, Tennessee. Come on out and join in with us. We'd be happy to have you.
Great.
Yes, we would love to
have information one more time.
A phone number to reach the ZHope would be 859-4836, and that area code is 615.
All right. Wow, this is so deep. I know we can go just on and on and on about that, but I say to you, if you are depressed, you know someone that is depressed, a female, and that she is depressed, just, encourage her to come out here and join this conference and get better, because you are not put on this earth to be depressed. And I want to thank my co-host and my friend, Dr. Houston Kennard, and to Dr. Brian. Thank you so much for that. Remember, God loves you, and so do we. And hi, we're at the conclusion of this awesome expo. And we have with us the young lady that's really over this thing, is Jackie Rowe. Tell our viewing audience who you are and what was the purpose of this?
Hi, my name is Jacqueline Rowe, and I'm the Mount Zion Network Ministry Business Chair of the expo.